We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. It is her birthday. We have Caroline Tebbs. How's it going?
Going fabulous.
I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's your birthday, and then it's also release day, right? Yeah?
Yes, it is. So my song Bigger Person came out today, and then the Bigger Person release party and official music video and everything is happening tomorrow. So it's an exciting weekend.
Nice. So you're just going to be partied out by the time. Well, actually, not even because you're in New Orleans as well, right? Or...
Yes, I'm originally from New Orleans, but
okay.
I actually moved to Nashville in August, so I am in Nashville now.
Okay. I was going to say, because Super Bowl, I'm sure that's going to be a whole experience. So, but yeah. That's really cool. So tell me about the new song. It's been out now about
Few
17 hours. Go ahead and tell us about the song.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a song called Bigger Person, and I wrote it at the end of my senior year of high school. I had a close group of friends that I was friends with for a long time, and we had some different issues. One of them was that my best friend in the group had thrown a birthday party, and all of the group went and I was not invited, and I found out on social media and just in the worst ways possible. And then obviously the whole going back to school, high school mean girl movie thing where, I'm sitting alone at lunch, and I just remember thinking that this is a really horrible cycle, and I use songwriting as an outlet, so I wrote about it. And then at a festival I was playing back home in Slidell, New Orleans area, I was like, yeah, I have this new song. I don't know if I'm ever going to release it or play it ever again because I don't want people to think I'm mean, but I did write it, and here it is. This is Bigger Person, and I played it, and some kids came up to me after and were just like, we felt that. We see this happen every year. Like, we needed to hear that. And I was like, wow, that is a really powerful message, and I want to release it. So here it is. I'm really glad it's finally out for the whole world to hear.
Right. That's really cool. That's a cool story, because I feel like a lot of people do that where they write a song either to kind of just get it out of their brain and just kind of, free up some memory space and whatnot, but then also to just kind of get in the habit of writing music, or there's an experience or, kind of what you were talking about. And then they play it just one offshoot afternoon or whatever. And it's just like, oh, that's the next single. Okay, let's go. So.
Yeah, songwriting's definitely been a big outlet for me. I mean, I started writing when I was really young. I think I was writing stories and songs before I was playing music. To be honest, I was writing lyrics, and I finally decided that I wanted to play live. I was like, I want to share these. And I started getting guitar lessons and piano lessons and vocal lessons. And then I started playing live at 14 and released music at 16. And it's all been that story since. I mean, that's this journey, I guess.
I love it. That's really cool. So even during them early years when you first started, like, obviously you'd mentioned that you were writing way before you even were singing and playing and all that stuff. Who were you listening to during those like early formative years as for like inspiration and whatnot?
Yeah, I always say Kelly Clarkson is a big inspiration of mine. Artists like Kelsey Ballerini. I did listen to some Taylor Swift. I was a big Swiftie. There's a lot of really powerful artists that I just grew up loving.
For sure. Was there any like local, like growing up in New Orleans, was there any like local artists that you got into?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually a part of Ozone Songwriters when I started playing live. They're a nonprofit organization that really helps a lot of young artists down there because they put on these festivals and kids can go out and play. And so I got involved in that pretty young, and I was definitely one of the youngest ones in the group.
Nice.
So there were a lot of really strong influences in me. And one of them was Chaselyn, who's doing really well now. I remember seeing her perform on stage when I was like, I don't know, must have been 14 or 15. And she was just so good. And she talked to me, and now she's like, I mean, she's doing phenomenal. But
Yeah.
I remember knowing her even then and looking up to people like that.
That's really cool. I actually watch her on Twitch.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I found there was a time, was it like 2022, 2023, where I was just like, whenever I had free time, I was just kind of perusing Twitch to find musicians. It was a weird phase, not a weird phase. It was a phase I kind of went through, and I randomly came across her page, and I think because she's from New Orleans, yeah, she's from New Orleans. And I think she was at school or something. She was like going to school or getting ready to go to school. And then, I try and catch her every once in a while, but yeah, she's really talented. So
Yeah, she's super talented. And I remember seeing her at those festivals really early on, and she just encouraged me so much. She was such a friendly, sweet face that would show up and be like, you got this.
right. That's really cool. I love that. And so how long have you been in Nashville now?
Oh, so I moved in August. I'm a freshman in college, and I got a music scholarship to Lipscomb University, so I'm studying there now for
Nice.
commercial songwriting.
Nice. That's been the really interesting thing is like usually when people say they're moving to Nashville to go to school, it's usually Belmont, and it's just like, okay, cool. And now I'm starting to see like Middle Tennessee is starting to, like, a lot of people are going to school for music at Middle Tennessee. I'm starting to see some Lipscomb too, and it's just kind of like, okay, like there's something going on there. That's really cool.
Yeah, there definitely is. I think it's a younger program. It's definitely a smaller program than Belmont, but I have fallen in love with it. I've started a band here. This release party that I'm doing tomorrow has 14 artists, and they're all from Lipscomb, like kids that I've gotten to meet and put projects with together, and and then we become friends and we do stuff like this, shows like tomorrow. So I've really enjoyed it.
For sure. That's really cool. And, the fact that you're doing a release party and keeping it, because I feel like it would have been really easy to kind of go back home for the weekend and just, do it there. But the fact that you're like really ingratiating the Nashville scene and just kind of like doing your music there, that's really cool.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you said that because, yeah, I definitely miss home. I'm really close to my family, really close to my little brother and my mom and dad. And, every once in a while I'm like, I'm ready to fly home. But I really want to start my life here. I'm loving it, loving the weather,
Nice.
loving the people.
Right. It's a cool area for sure. Like especially once you start traveling like outside of Nashville and go up into like Kentucky and that stuff, like it's just a whole experience. So.
Wow, yeah, I haven't even done any of that, so I'll put that on my bucket list.
Fair. So who introduced you to music originally? Did that come through your family, or did you kind of find it on your own? Like as far as like the songwriting aspect and stuff like that?
Yeah, as far as the songwriting aspect, I don't have any really strong songwriters around me. My grandfather on my mom's side has always played guitar, and he's played guitar with me. Like when I was a little girl walking in his house, he was playing guitar and singing songs. And then my mom has told me that she's always been a writer, that she would compose some, but she was more a writer in the sense of like writing stories and books and not so much music, but she did play a little piano. So I'm not really sure. I think it came from a lot of mix of things, influences I saw, and like I said, I really believe it's an outlet. I mean, I don't know how to not write songs, if that makes any sense.
No,
Like,
it makes perfect sense. It's one of those things where it's like it's just naturally it's natural to you. Like it's like breathing. Like everybody, you can't explain how to breathe,
yeah.
but everybody knows how to do it.
Yeah,
You know?
I think it's really great. I think people have a lot of different passions. Like my little brother has no interest in music. He's all soccer, but that's what he loves. It comes natural. He loves it. So I think you just find your thing and you're like, okay, this is for me. Let me just dive in and do this.
Right. So now that you're at release day, Bigger Person is out now. Where's kind of your headspace at right now? Like obviously there's a whole bunch of other stuff kind of going on in tandem with Bigger Person release, but where you kind of at? Where's your headspace at? How you feeling?
I definitely am in a very happy, excited state right now. Some of my family flew up. My best friend flew up for this weekend, so I'm in celebrating mode. But I also, the reason I released this song in the first place is to get that message across. So I think in the back of my head, I'm just like, I hope the people who hear this hear me and hear what I'm trying to say and understand the message that I'm trying to portray. Because you never know, people interpret things differently. But I think if the song can relate and help people, then that's all that you could ever ask for. So
100%. 100%. So, how long ago did you write this song? I know you'd mentioned that like you played it at a festival, but like how before that, how long had it been since you wrote it?
yes, so I wrote it. This all happened in my beginning of my senior year of high school. I wrote it a little bit halfway or towards the end, maybe even. And then over the summer, we filmed the official music video with a friend group that helped me get through that time. So I met friends through all of that.
Yeah.
And I started sitting with them and hanging out with them, and they were really sweet, great people. And then we ended up making this music video over the summer together, which just brought us so much closer. So that was really cool.
Nice. That's cool. I have to ask because it kind of felt like is one of those things where you'd been sitting on the song for probably like a year or two, and then you just kind of happened to pull it out one day. But no, that's really cool that it was kind of like a natural progression. And do you remember why during that festival you were like, you know what, let's put this one out there?
I think it had been, I wrote it, and if I'm being honest with you, I wrote it and closed the songbook and did not pick it up again.
Okay.
And I felt like it was one of those songs that I was writing just for me. And I was like, nobody knows a lot about this situation. I didn't really tell anybody anything that had happened. And I was like, this is just going to be a me song. When I'm hurting, I'm just going to go in and play it, and that's going to be that. And this is going to be my way to let go. And I remember at that festival in particular, there were a lot of young high school girls there that they were asking me really personal questions about my song. I had played Not Quite Good Enough that day, which is the title track of my first album, and that's probably one of the more personal songs I've ever written. And they really asked and connected with it, and I was like, maybe they're really hearing me. Maybe I can say this and they will understand. And so I did. And I got lucky. They did.
Nice. Nice. That's really cool. So kind of looking forward, once you get through the release show tomorrow, are you already looking at like the next single, or where are you kind of at on that front?
Yeah, definitely. I'm starting to plan more shows. I've started a band here. I wanna play some shows with a band. I had a band back home, but like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to create a life here. And then as far as release wise, I have met a really great producer here, and the producer that produced my album also moved here. So now I've got a few different options. So I'm gonna go back to the studio. I have some songs that I've already recorded, and so we'll see which ones out of those that I really choose to take next. I think I have a good idea, but I don't want to say it yet. And then, I think I'll go back into maybe a little bit of a personal feeling. I feel like I've learned with my writing that I'm very, I guess in a way, observant, or almost like a third party. I'm very self-reflective in my writing. And I think now that I've realized that, I can write a lot better. I can write really personal and, just develop my lyrics a little more. So I'm excited to do that and release some more music after this.
Oh yeah. The next 4 years are going to be really interesting to watch your songwriting kind of progress. Not only you as a person and like the experiences you get living in Nashville, but then also the experiences of going through a music program in school and just like all the different people you're going to meet and opportunities you're going to get. So it's going to be really cool to kind of watch that progression over the next 4 years.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm guess I'm assuming 4 years. I still think that's what college programs are, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's only 4 years, so you assumed right.
Right? It's one of those things where it's like I haven't been to school in a very long time, so it's like, and nowadays we've got these kids that come into the office and they're like 20 years old and they're like, oh yeah, I've got like my master's degree, and I'm like, what kind of genius IQ do you carry that you're 20 with a
Yeah.
master's? Like, I don't get this right now. So,
That's crazy
yeah.
for them.
Uh, right? It's like maybe I need to start hanging out with you because
Yeah.
I need some of that education. But no, it's that's cool. So kind of outside of music, obviously with school and everything, you probably don't have a whole lot of free time. But what do you like to do to kind of decompress and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think family time, family and friend time. I do pack my schedule a little too much sometimes, and so I try to, devote time to taking time off. I think that's really important. If, just calling my mom or, calling my friend or going out to have coffee or meeting new people. I mean, when I first got to Nashville, I got to do this, this, and this, and I want to play these different shows. And I was playing right when I got here. I played a ridiculous amount of times in the first semester doing writers' rounds and putting this band together. And I kind of realized, I was like, well, I want to take some time to meet the kids around campus. And I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did because now they're doing a release party with me. And, it makes it feel like home when you have people that you really connect to.
Yeah, for sure. Have you had a chance since being in Nashville to kind of visit some of the standard places in Nashville?
Yeah, so when I came up to audition, it was just me, my mom, and my mom's mom, so my grandmother.
Yeah.
And I needed to audition one of the days, and I was touring a few different schools and looking at different options. But we did take time to go see a few museums and walk around and have a picnic, all the Nashville staples. And I've been on Broadway.
Nice. Do you get a chance to play, or do you play Broadway, or no, not really?
I've played some open mics down there and just some writers rounds right around there. I've played a good amount of writers rounds, and we didn't have a lot of writers rounds down in New Orleans. There was a lot of festivals, so that was a new thing for me, but I've really loved it. It's a lot of fun to meet New Orleans.
Sure. For sure. And I'm sure, especially coming from New Orleans, who I've not been to New Orleans. Like I've come driven through past all that stuff, but New Orleans, I feel like has a pretty solid independent scene,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
at least a consistent scene, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely festivals and a lot of musicians down there, but it's definitely a lot. I don't want to say this in a negative way, but I think it is a lot harder to do music down there because when I got here, it was like, okay, well, this is a standard thing. This is Music City. Like everybody's doing this. So you just meet a ton of music people right off the bat. And I think one of the problems with one of my friend groups about Bigger Person and everything that happened was everybody in high school was so into sports and clubs, and I was doing those things and I dropped them to play live and do studio sessions and all of that. And everybody just really did not understand me. When you don't fit in, you're different. So I think that was a big part of it. And I really loved just coming here and being like, okay, these are my people. This is my home.
Right. 100% understood. That's, but the fact that you kind of stuck with it, because I feel like a lot of people would have just kind of given in and just been like, okay, you guys want me to play sports, so I'm going to drop this to go play sports so I could fit in with my friends.
Well, if you'd
So.
seen me play sports, you would know why I didn't go back to that.
I've seen some situations play out where that didn't matter. So it's just, but the fact that you're chasing your dream and now you're in Nashville doing your thing and releasing music and killing it, like just straight up killing it, that's really cool. So.
Yeah. And I think, I couldn't be happier. I remember a moment coming back from the studio late one night, and I was telling my mom, like I said, we were very close. I was talking to her about stuff that happened at school and comments that were made when I released my first song and things like that. And she said, well, would you rather, be in school and sports, and would you rather go for the sports route? Like, we'll do what you want to do type of thing. Like, we'll help you get there. And I was like, I'm just so happy when I'm playing music. I don't want to give it up. And she was like, then kid, you're doing the right thing. And so, I think that support system had a lot to do with it. If I didn't have people like my mom or my friends in my life that have been like, hey, that's a great song. You should focus on that type of.
Yeah, for sure. Completely understood. So we're obviously with the release and everything, where do you kind of find yourself creatively right now? Do you find yourself more in a creative writing mode? Like you find you're being a little bit more creative right now, or do you feel like you're a little bit more in the production record mode? Like where do you kind of find yourself?
Honestly, I am trying to be in the marketing mode, but I can't get there. I know nothing about it. But honestly, I feel like I'm always in the creative mode because I'm always writing. I would definitely say I write at least something once a day, and then I pick what I want to focus on and types of things like that. And then, but I guess I am in the production mode too because I'm recording some new stuff and I'm trying to listen through that and see what I want, which direction I want to go with that. But like I said, I'm trying to be in the, we'll just say productive mode where I'm trying to get everything done.
Fair, very fair. It's one of those things where it's very overwhelming altogether, and it's just kind of like it could easily eat you alive.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So here we are. So I feel that. You'd mentioned that you're trying to be in the marketing mode, but you don't quite know what you're doing. Did I miss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm young and I'm a teenager and I have social media and I should be good at it, but I'm not. But I'm trying to, I want people to hear my real message and I want people to hear the songs that I write and I want people to hear my stories. And I think I need to find a way to go about that and be able to connect with people on a really real level. I have a song called Image that I wrote, and I haven't decided when I'm going to release it yet, but it was just all about how you create this image as an artist, or really anyone. I think anyone can relate to this. I mean, if you have just a day-to-day job at work, you create an image when you walk in the building, and I think sometimes you kind of wonder in the back of your head, well, what do people really think of me? Do they know the real me? Do these lyrics mean anything to them? So I think that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm trying to figure out how to be as vulnerable and real with people as I can through social media platforms.
Absolutely. You're on the right track there, because I was just, as you were talking about all that, I was kind of thumbing through your Instagram here, and it's like, I feel like sharing those thoughts and those moments, even just in a raw, unproduced way, just kind of going live on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and just kind of doing one of these numbers and sharing those stories, I think more people will connect with you.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. And so I will keep doing it.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where social media, it seems like they reward the snazzy looking photo. Oh, look who's in Hawaii or the islands, or like whatever, and who's got the beautiful shot. But in reality, right now, because TikTok is all the thing, people want those real moments, not that snapshot of something that makes you look like a superstar,
Oh, definitely. I think I use the word perfect and not quite good enough a lot because it was all about, perfect image, perfect song, perfect this. And I think I'm trying to get out of that headspace of stop trying to make everything perfect and just connect and share the stories, because when I do play live and it's not perfect, because it can't be, and I do share the stories, people connect with it. So I'm trying to switch that over to social media and see if I can get there.
Right. And you'll get there, like 100%. Like,
thank you.
It's one of those things where it's just like it takes time. And I did a video yesterday, kind of talking straight into camera, talking about something that I was going through, and I had a bunch of people message me. Like, there was a time there where my Instagrams, they'd get a whole bunch of likes, but no like real interactions, like no comments, none of that stuff. And I shared this like really vulnerable video talking about like this funk that I felt like I was in, and like imposter syndrome and like all these things. And I had like 3 or 4 people message me, and it's like, oh, I really felt that. Like, you're like a real dude. I appreciate, and so that was, the phrasing "real dude" came off a little weird, but it's like, I get it. I 100% get it. So
Yeah, definitely.
I love it. So just kind of, how's school been treating you? Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, I really love it. The program is really great at Lipscomb. It puts you in these situations where you're see producers and artists your age and musicians and people in marketing, like every single class of every hour of every day. And so you realize to find the people you work really well together. And I think part of being in this industry is, building a team of people that you trust, because I think the most important thing you can realize is that your success is their success and their success is your success. And it's something my mom has preached to me since I was little, and it finally stuck. And I think understanding that, like this release party tomorrow, I have people coming out who are helping me play these songs, and I know for a fact that I couldn't do it alone, and the show's going to be so much better because there's so many people involved. And there's actually this Red Dog practicum on campus that's helping me put it together, and they've been phenomenal. I mean, these are kids my age that are like, let me help you with marketing. Let me help you, put together this sound equipment. I'm like, let's do it. So it's really fun because it's people your age, and it's just everybody's young and trying to figure it out, but everybody has such ambition and talent. So it's really great.
Nice. I love that. It's really cool. Especially because it's one of those things where you're all in the same boat, and
Right.
it's like all the ships are rising together.
Yeah, definitely.
And, some of them may float away and never do music again. That happens. But like once you kind of find your tight crew and your group, and you all hang around Nashville or, go wherever it is you want to go, like that's how friendships are made, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, nice. But I don't want to keep you here too much longer because I know you got a release show to prepare for tomorrow, and then you've still got a whole bunch of birthday fun, I'm sure, coming up tonight. So,
Definitely.
what's one piece of advice you have for the young musicians out there?
If you love it, keep doing it because it's worth it. I think anything that is worth doing is, gonna be a little hard. You're gonna hit bumps that you're like, I can't figure this out. What do I do? I'm stuck. And it's gonna happen more than once. And you're gonna have people tell you no. But if you love it, then it'll all be worth it. I think I do get in, we were talking about earlier, that overwhelming headspace of, oh, I got to do this, this, and this. But I always remind myself, you're doing what you love, like I get excited to wake up and go to music classes. So like at the end of the day, if I don't love it, then it might not be as worth it. But if you're passionate about something, then keep going.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better. So if anybody wants to check out your music, shows, any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
So I have a website, carolinetebs.com, and everything is linked there. I mean, my music platforms, my music videos, which I'm super excited for. The music video for Bigger Person is going to come out tomorrow at 8 p.m. So look for that. And then let's see, all my socials are listed there, but I'm obviously on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all those things, just Caroline Tebbs Music. And you can look up my artist name, which is Caroline Tebbs. And let's see. I think that's everything. But yeah, carolinetebs.com has everything linked. So
Nice.
shows are listed there, so that's helpful.
Sweet. And I may or may not be doing a music video critique Sunday morning on your brand new music video that's coming out at 8 p.m. tomorrow.
There we go.
So I may or may not be. I don't want to bury the lead or anything, but keep an eye out Sunday morning at 7 a.m.
Awesome. I really hope you love it. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like when independent musicians do music videos, because I feel like they're still so important, especially with like the rise of not the rise of YouTube. YouTube's been around for 15, almost 20 years, but like with Spotify introducing like more visual components and like videos starting to like really become important, and the creative social aspect of it, it's just like I really want independent musicians to make good music videos and like put actual effort into it. You get what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there was definitely a lot of hard work that went into this one. I did not do it alone. My best friend and her whole friend group started in it for me, so that was great. And she lent me her house. Some of it was filmed
Nice.
in the house.
I'm guessing it is under the same visual look as like the thumbnail on your Spotify.
Yes, it is. It's that album art was taken from the music video, so everything will look around the same. But I'm really excited, and if you get a chance, or if anyone listening gets a chance, I am playing the Well Coffee House tomorrow night from 7 to 9. It's in Green Hills. It's right across from Lipscomb campus, and it's going to be a really great time. We're going to have food and great music and great artists, so I'm excited.
Nice. I love it. I love that so much. But once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Yeah, I can't wait to check out your music video, any of that fun stuff. And thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you later. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Live and Amplified's Indie Fusion podcast. If you'd like to support anything Live and Amplified does, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Live, the letter N, Amplified. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, any of them, all of them, at Live, the letter N, Amplified. And if you would like to buy any official Live and Amplified merch, you can do so at our merch shop, link in the description below. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day.